So once you know what your energy type is and you're intimately familiar with how that all works and how to implement that in your life, the second most important thing in human design is what we call the authority. And the authority is the idea that when you look at a chart and everybody has 9 different centers inside their chart, each of us has a different center that's basically like the MVP of our chart. It's the part of us that is in charge because it's the part of us that is supposed to be making all the major life decisions for us. So when we talk about intuition or we talk about this inner guidance that we all have, essentially that's like one blanket term for really how different inner guidance is expressed through different people. So we all within us have different mixes of this intuition, which could be what your gut tells you, what your instinct tells you, what your emotions tell you, what our heart tells you, what your ego tells you, what your mind tells you. We have all these different components that really come into play differently in each one of us that explains how you're supposed to be making decisions. So your authority video is going to show you which of those MVPs you have and how to actually start listening to it. Because one of the most challenging things in life is understanding which voices in your head to actually listen to and which ones are going to lead you the right way versus which ones to sift through that you don't really need or what might be telling you the wrong stuff. How to separate fear from a genuine inner voice that's trying to teach you something and tell you which way to go. So usually in traditional human design, you have 7 different types of authority, but the way we do it is we take into account the other centers that you have lit up inside your chart. So we have many, many more different options that differently explain how, for example, being an emotional authority projector could be totally different than being an emotional authority manifester or manifesting generator. And similarly, if you have a sacral authority as a generator, for example, to me, it makes a big difference if you also have a defined spleen or if your spleen is undefined. So our videos really take this into account so that it's a lot more clear for you to really hone in on how the authority actually looks inside you. And the reason why people say that energy type and authority are the most important things to know, and if you know those 2 things, you'll actually end up living your design in all the other ways too, is because life is one big series of decision making. And if you know how to make the right decisions, those decisions will add up to leading you to your destiny, your highest purpose, fulfilling your potential on this planet, which is why authority is everything. And the magic of authority is really that so many of us, all we want, our most important wish in this life is to feel like powerful creators. We want to fulfill our greatest potential. And what they say about authority, which I love so much, is that when you finally free your mind of having to make your life decisions and you listen to your real authority, which is somewhere inside your body, then actually that's when you become an outer authority. That's when other people start to see you as an authority because your mind becomes clear enough to be able to think about the things that really matter to you, for you to develop your genius, for you to become smarter, for you to become wiser, for you to observe the world. So it's like when we don't clog up the mind and put it in charge of making our life decisions, then the mind can really emerge and rise up as becoming an authority to other people in our life. So when we listen to our inner authority in our own lives, we also become an outer authority. And that's really something that we're all supposed to be headed towards.